Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, what I'm about to show you, Giffords just blinked. The gun controllers just blinked. The things that you've been doing, they are now directly addressing because it is working. What I'm about to show you right now is how effective you are for them to put out these types of talking points. And by the way, call them tyrants any opportunity that you get because that's exactly what they're worried about. Now, everything will be linked in the description box below. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because we are about spreading that freedom here, and don't let the YouTube censorship algorithm win in the subversion of your desires for your YouTube content. All right, guys, everything is always linked in the description box below. Let's get into this. Follow me on X at BradenLOA. This is where the cutting edge stuff is coming out across the board. We've got so much to talk about. All right, let's get into this. I want to show you how your opponents just blinked. All right, Giffords.org. I frequently see their post, and most of the time it's pretty much dribble. However, this one is interesting. Let me read it to you and then show you what their reasoning is. Gun extremists have long sold the idea that guns are for fighting tyranny, and anyone who disagrees with them on anything is a tyrant. But that's not how it works. They just blinked. Apparently, calling them tyrants harkens back to our founding, which then makes them lose influence. They would not, and hear me on this, they would not be putting out this post along with an accompanying website brief, which I'm about to show you, if your moves against them were not working. They don't like the idea that you call them tyrants. It resonates. They are blinking and you are winning. All right, let me keep on going and let me show you this, because what they're attempting to do is they're attempting to equate acts of violence with basically saying the Second Amendment is there to oppose tyranny. They're trying to blend those together. They can't do it because this post shows you they are losing. Watch this. This is all about public perception, and it's key. You have to understand what these people do, and this is a sign for them. Watch this. The man who killed Minnesota State Representative Melissa Horton had a hit list. America's armed extremists have one too, and democracy's on it. Wow. Let's go ahead and crank the volume of fear all the way up, and let's go ahead and crank logic all the way down. Really important piece to understand here. They are going towards more extreme rhetoric because they don't like being called tyrants because it's effective. Let's keep going. I'm going to show you everything they linked. Watch this. Regardless of the final details, this tragedy marks the latest in a growing pattern of armed individuals using political grievances, conspiracies, and personal despair to justify violence against elected officials. And the pattern is not emerging in a vacuum. It's being fueled by decades of extremist rhetoric that has been amplified, normalized, and monetized by America's gun lobby. Don't call us tyrants because it's effective. Don't call us tyrants because you're resisting us, because we're tyrants. All right, let's keep on going. Let's listen to this, guys, and I'm going to show you all the links, too. For years, groups like the Heritage Foundation, the NRA, and Gun Owners of America, by the way, hat tip to Gun Owners of America for making it in that grouping right there, have pushed this dangerous lie that the Second Amendment exists to give Americans the ability to use violence to fight against tyranny. The literal idea behind the Second Amendment was for us to bear arms to indeed fight tyranny, both foreign and domestic. You can be as upset about it as you want, and you can kind of twist it to say that, oh, that means political violence is acceptable. No, it means we stand up against kings. Death to tyrants doesn't mean death to all political officials. What it means is we reject kings and we push liberty. That's what it means. It's not hard to understand, but they're trying to twist it because then they can make you into something that you're not. They're blinking. It's working. Watch this. Then they turn around and scream that anyone with whom they have a policy difference is a tyrant. It's not a policy difference. You have made an entire campaign to ban our Second Amendment rights, which are our rights, and we blast you for it and call you tyrants because knock, knock, who's there? Tyrants do that. If you act like a tyrant, we will call you a tyrant, but because it's effective, now it's any policy difference. No, we believe in our rights, you believe in taking them away under the guise of safety. That's not policy difference, that's tyrannical behavior, and we're going to call you tyrants. It's real simple, but they don't like it, so keep doing it. Let's keep going. That's not a dog whistle, it's a bullhorn. But constantly crying tyrant is just the tip of the iceberg. All right, I'm going to walk you through a few of these things, and all these tabs are all videos that they've referenced from Gun Owners of America, the NRA, SIG, all saying how bad it is for them to love America, and they're saying we're tyrants, because you are. They're blinking. You're winning. Keep pouring on. All right, here we go. In a book purportedly on guns and freedom, longtime NRA head Wayne LaPierre wrote that, quote, the people have the right, must have the right, to take whatever means necessary, including force, to abolish oppressive government. Yet that doesn't mean a local ordinance. What that means is a king who is treading on the rights of the people. This is not difficult, but they're going to try to twist it. Let me jump over to some of these references they make, and I'll come back to these. Here's Gun Owners of America. You are a tyrant, Mr. President. Joe Biden was a tyrant. Just let me pour it on. You are a tyrant, and we will not allow you to infringe on our Second Amendment. That means we're going to kick your butts in the courts, the court of public opinion, and the legislature and the executive branch, which is what we're doing. That doesn't mean what the Giffords is telling you. Okay, let's keep on going. Firearms Policy Coalition. Good morning, except to Tim Walz and every other tyrant who thinks 18 and 20-year-old adults should be disarmed. Fair point. Let's keep on going. Gun Owners of America. In case you missed it, Kamala Harris is a tyrant. All these things are accurate. These are not just made-up fiction. Gun Owners of America. You tried to infringe on the First and Second Amendments today, tyrant. And worst of all, you don't understand the technology you want to ban. Well, they don't understand the technology they want to ban, and they are tyrants, and we are beating them. But again, all of these posts right here are why they're putting out things like this that say, don't call us a tyrant. Guys, it is a massive point. All right, I got more for us. In 2017, the day after Representative Steve Scalise was nearly killed by a gunman, an NRA spokesman seemingly sided with those who use violence against their own government officials, saying, quote, my weapons are here to defend me against my government. Ultimately, when it's said and done, that's the main reason I have these weapons. Yeah, the point is that we guard our Second Amendment rights with an armed population through the Second Amendment. The right to keep and bear arms means we've got them. Just don't step out of line, kings, tyrants. It doesn't mean I didn't like that provision that says I can't park in that location. There's quite a big difference. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, Sig Sauer produced an ad likening proponents of gun safety laws to the tyranny of King George in the run-up to the American Revolution. You mean when they literally took the guns from us because they were afraid we were going to have an uprising and take away their colony, and then we would basically be free or break away from a kingdom? You mean that time frame? Let me jump over to the actual ad, of which they're very upset about. Check this out. It's very, very concerning. I mean, like, I'm emotionally upset.
As Americans, we have always despised tyranny. Our freedoms, cast on an altar of sacrifice, were born from a desire to unite. Those freedoms have been challenged before, yet they have stood the test of time. Today, our freedom is once again in question, and its future is not promised. To those who may deny and restrict those freedoms, we say only this: shall not be infringed.
I mean, that's pretty simple. Shall not be infringed. It's not difficult. But again, that's what they want to put you in. That's the evil 6-hour video. So watch out. Watch out, guys. Anyway, I've already shown you the Firearm Policy Coalition that claimed a bipartisan bill to enhance background checks and fight gun trafficking was an act of violence against the fundamental rights of the American people. It was. They're talking about the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. That was a trash sandwich. The National Association for Gun Rights declared the Second Amendment exists to enable the murder of fellow Americans, saying it's not about hunting, it's about resisting tyranny from enemies, both foreign and domestic. I just said those exact same words because that's exactly what it is. It's not a license to kill people. What it is it's a license to be armed to prevent tyranny in our people, of which our origin broke out of. This is not difficult, but they're going to make it into this argument of, don't call us a tyrant because that means you want to kill us. Nope. You're a tyrant because you're trying to take our rights away, and we're going to beat you through every means possible. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump straight to anything in the arms realm. We're going to beat you in legislative. We're going to beat you in the judicial. We're going to beat you in the court of public opinion. We're going to beat you in the executive. We're going to beat you in the ballot box. We're going to beat you everywhere we can because we have the rights. You cannot take them away because you claim safety. It's that simple. And I'm going to wrap this up right here. Here's the final big push from Giffords.org. Guns are being framed not just as a tool of protection, but as instruments of political enforcement. I would really enjoy any type of reference in history where you can say that the guns were not the instruments of political enforcement. Because police have firearms, that would be an instrument of political enforcement. Technically, it would be law enforcement, but that branches from a understanding of laws, and political, and all those different pieces. In other words, gun extremists have long sold the idea that their idea of democracy must be defended with bullets instead of ballots. No, we're beating the crap out of you in the ballots too. The idea is that we have these gun rights here in place to prevent tyranny from taking root and taking hold. And if it ever were to, we have the armed population so that we don't get slaughtered at the hands of a dictatorial power. That's the entire point. Don't let this dissuade you from what is really going on. They are blinking. You are winning. I'll see you on the next one.